Hi everyone, my name is Patrick Cosgrove and I'm the Student Recruitment Officer here at Mary Immaculate College. So welcome to the latest in our Instagram live Q&A sessions. Today we'll be looking at scholarships. So we'll be looking at our undergraduate entrance scholarships. We will be looking at our sports scholarships as well as our CEO points concession sports scheme. So if you do have any questions about any of those scholarship schemes, feel free to post them this morning. Just before we start, so while people are logging in, just to remind you that we still have a number of sessions in our Instagram Q&A series over the next couple of weeks. So next Tuesday on the 28th of May, we'll have a session with Dr. Mary Maloney, and she'll be talking about the BA in Early Childhood Care and Education. On Wednesday the 3rd of June, for those of you that are interested in primary school teaching, the Bachelor of Education, the Bachelor of Education International, the new programme, or the Bachelor of Education in Education Psychology. That day we will have Dr. John O'Shea and Dr. Claire Griffin on if you want to ask any questions. And the final Q&A in our series then will be on Thursday the 4th of June at 11 AM as well, and that will be with the President of the Mary Immaculate College Students' Union, Aisling Cusick, so you can ask her any questions about the Students' Union or clubs and societies on the day as well. So just check out our website mic.ul.ie for the full list of the different sessions that are available over the coming weeks. So many of you have been very good and have sent me in questions prior to the event today. So just while people are logging in, feel free to put up your question at any stage. I might just start maybe on some of the questions that that people were very kind to send in prior to today. So I've kind of grouped some of the questions that have come in under the various different scholarships. So first of all, I might just look at some of the questions that came in under the entrance scholarships. So these are undergraduate entrance scholarship schemes. So they're available for students on all of our different programs, and you can apply for them, or you can be lucky enough to get one of them if you get very good points in through the CEO, for example. So first question to come in is, how much is each undergraduate entrance scholarship worth? So each of the scholarships, those undergraduate entrance scholarships, they're worth €2,000 in first year, and obviously that €2,000 it would go a long way towards covering your costs, whether that's accommodation or your basic travel or whatever it is. So they're available right across all our different programs on our Limerick campus and our Thurles campus. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing primary teaching on our Limerick campus, or early childhood care and education, contemporary applied theatre studies, the Bachelor of Arts, or if you're doing our post-primary teacher programs on our Thurles campus that qualify you as a secondary school teacher in subjects like business, accounting, religion, Irish and maths, it doesn't matter. There's undergraduate entrance scholarships available on all of those programs. So for example, there's 15 scholarships available on the Bachelor of Arts degree on our Limerick campus. The 15 students with the highest points, they'd all get offered a scholarship in first year. So very straightforward. You don't have to fill up any application forms, anything like that. If you're lucky enough to get high points in your Leaving Cert and you accept a place in one of our programs, then we may come to you and offer you an undergraduate entrance scholarship worth €2,000. So next question to come in. Was our entrance scholarships available on all programs? So yes, they're available on all our programs on our Limerick and our Thurles campuses. We also had, how many entrance scholarships are available on the Thurles programs? So currently we've 6 programs in Thurles. They qualify as a secondary school teacher in subjects like business, accounting, religion, Irish and maths. We previously had 5 scholarships available, but I think from next year we will now have 6 scholarships available for those of you that are applying for those Thurles programs. So great opportunities there possibly to get that €2,000 scholarship in first year. Next question then that was sent in is there an application form for the undergraduate entrance scholarships? So short answer is no. There's no application form, so you don't need to fill up anything like that prior to joining us in the college. Once you accept a place in one of our programs, and if you're lucky enough to get high points in your Leaving Cert, we'll come to you, high points through the CEO, and we'll come to you and offer you a scholarship. So that's basically how it works. So you don't have to fill up any forms prior to it or anything like that. Next question then that we had, is it necessary to meet the entry requirements and get the points for a programme in order to be offered an entrance scholarship? Short answer is yes. So you need to meet the points. So if whatever it is you're going for, and you need to meet the entry requirements. So for example, if you're going for the Bachelor of Education, if it's primary school teaching is what you're interested in, you need to get the points. You'll need to meet the entrance requirements as well. So for example, if that's your H4 in Irish, or your O4 or a H7 in English and Maths, you'll need to get that as well in order to be eligible to get one of those entrance scholarships. Next question then that was sent in was, when is the entrance scholarship paid? So those undergraduate entrance scholarships, they're paid in 2 different installments. There's usually a ceremony to present them in the first semester of term each year, and payment then is in 2 installments. First one is usually in early November, and the second one is in February in the second semester. So basically you get a payment in each semester. So that's the way the scholarship funding is allocated. Another question then that came in was, can I defer an entrance scholarship? So the short answer is, I suppose no. The scholarship, it must be taken up in the year in which the applicant is offered a place through the CEO. So if you apply for one of our courses this year and you're accepted through the CEO, you have to take it that year that the place is offered by the CEO. So basically you can't defer it for a year. Question then come in by Kyle Drilling 10. How does the points concession work? Sorry if it's already answered. So the points concession scheme is basically, I might just leave that for a minute or two, Kyle. I might move on to it next. I just have another question or two here from the entrance scholarships that I might go to, and then I'll come to the concession sports scheme. So final question we had on entrance scholarships was, will these entrance scholarships be available this year despite the cancellation of the Leaving Cert? So yes, they will all be available. They're based on the CEO points, so they all still apply again this year. So that's maybe just something to consider. Kyle then was just asking a question there about the CEO point sports concession scheme. So how does it work? So basically, on the scheme, there's roughly about 10 places available, and under that scheme, you might be able to get into one of our programs on a reduced points basis. So the maximum the points can be reduced is up to 40 points. So that would be 40 points lower than they would be on the first round of the CEO for everyone else. So that's basically how it works. So obviously for our sports scholarships and for our CEO points concession scheme, you need to apply beforehand. Usually the entrance, the deadline for applications this year was the 1st of May, so applications deadline is already passed, but for coming years it will usually probably be around the 1st of May again as well. So you do need to apply the application form. You can find it on our website, mic.ie. If you just Google scholarships, and you can apply for both the sports scholarships and the CEO points concession scheme. And if you're lucky enough to get accepted then on the CEO points concession scheme, you even if you didn't get the points from one of our programs, as long as you met the entry requirements, you might be able to get in lower points. So that's basically how it works. So I grouped some questions that came in before today on our different sports scholarships. So I might just go through them now, but please feel free, if you do have any questions, feel free to post them at any stage, and I'll do my best to answer them. So for sports scholarships, we have 2 elite sports scholarships available, and they'll be, the whole scheme is commencing this year. They are named after 2 former members of staff. So Leonard Enright, who formerly worked in our buildings and maintenance area in the college, former Limerick hurler, won a number of All-Stars at full back for Limerick back in the 80s, and also a former member of staff as well, Noreen Lynch, who was a physical education lecturer in the college for many years as well. So there who our 2 sports scholarships are named after. Some questions that come in about them, for example, were how many elite sports scholarships are available? Well, like I said, there's just 2 of them available each year. Someone else asked, can you apply for a sports scholarship if you plan to study one of the Thurles programs? The answer is yes, you can. So you could be studying a program on our Limerick campus or our Thurles campus. You can still apply for them, and you can be successful if you meet all the criteria and the committee decide that you are the best person for a scholarship. You can indeed be accepted for one. Someone else wanted to know how much is each sports scholarship worth. So they're worth €4,000. So that would include your student fee, and it also includes benefits in kind. So your student fee is about €3,000 at the moment, and various other benefits in kind then would make up the €4,000. So that's basically how it's allocated. Someone else asked then, my sport is hurling. What level would I need to be playing at in order to get a sports scholarship? So, for example, for the likes of hurling, you probably want to be playing at county minor level. Similar with Gaelic football, ladies football, camogie and so on. You probably want to be playing at county minor level and looking like you're going to progress on to a higher age group or further on as well. So that's really, I suppose, the minimum standard that you want to have if you were going to apply. Feel free, anyone, if you do have any questions, post them up and I will try and get to them. Some other questions then that come in about the sports scholarships were, for rugby, what level would I need to be playing at in order to get a sports scholarship? So, for example, for rugby, you probably need to be playing at the schools or age grade international, provincial or maybe international representation. Or even if you're coming from overseas or for the UK, whatever the UK or overseas equivalent of that would be. So maybe just keep that in mind. You can find out all of the different, I suppose, minimum standards for different sports. They're all available on our website, mic.ie, under scholarships. If you want to have a look in your own time, you can see what would be expected. Someone else then asked for soccer, what level would I need to be playing at in order to be eligible for a sports scholarship? For soccer, similar as well, you need to be at a school or an age grade international, maybe provincial representation on one of the maybe emerging talent programs or the equivalent overseas or UK equivalent as well. So they're the kind of levels that you'd need to be at. But it applies to lots of different sports, basketball, rowing, athletics, so on. Even sports that we mightn't have in the college, for example, areas like, for example, could be cricket or hockey or so on. If you are playing at your sport at a very high level, you could still apply, you could still be eligible for one of our sports scholarships. Another question that came in beforehand then on sports scholarships was, what does act as an ambassador for the college mean? So as part of the sports scholarships and also the CEO Point Sports Concession scheme, as part of accepting that award, if you're lucky enough to get either of them, you would be expected to ask to act as an ambassador for Mary Immaculate College. So basically what it means is you'd obviously have to represent the Mary Immaculate College in your chosen sport. So if it was Gaelic football or hurling or soccer, whatever it was, you'd obviously have to play for the college team in that sport. You'd also have to help out with different promotional events maybe in the college, such as our open days or taster days or graduation, different events like that we might have, probably up to a maximum of about 3 events in an academic year. So that's basically what you'd have to do. Next question is there, is this available for mature students also? That's from Nilu Frankie. So I'm not sure which is it the undergraduate entrance scholarship scheme or the sports scholarship scheme you're asking for. So yes, it should be available for mature students. I think if that's what the question you're asking there, if you want to maybe clarify which one of the scholarships it is that you're asking, I might be able to give you a clear answer on that. So feel free, anyone that you have any questions, do feel free to ask them. We have a CEO Points concession sports scheme as well, and people were very good. They sent us in a number of questions before today, so I might just go through them as well, but feel free to send in your questions if you do have one. So someone asked, can you apply for a sports scholarship and the CEO Points concession sports scheme? So yes, you can apply for both, but obviously you can only be a successful applicant for one of those schemes. So as part of the application process, you can apply for the sports scheme, you can apply for a CEO Points concession sports scheme, but you can only be eligible for one of those schemes. So maybe bear that in mind. Someone else wanted to know how many places are available on the CEO Points Concession Sports Scheme. So there's about 10 places available on that scheme. And like I said earlier, basically you might be able to get in on lower points. Points can be reduced by a maximum of 40 points. Below what you would be on the first round of the CEO for everyone else. So as long as you meet the entry requirements, you might be able to get in lower points. Kira asks there, how many places on the CEO scheme? So yeah, like I said, there's just 10 places available on the scheme, and like I said, they're available across all of our programs on our Limerick or our Thurles campus. So if you want to do one of our post-primary teaching programs in MIC Thurles, or you want to do the Bachelor of Arts degree in our MIC Limerick campus, you can apply and you can be eligible as well. Owen Lawless asked, when will the offers be for scholarships? So Owen, the deadline was just the 1st of May for application, so at the moment we're just processing all the different applications, and obviously with the whole COVID-19 situation, it is just making things a little bit more difficult for our staff in the college. So hopefully, Owen, we will let people know in the coming months, so you'll obviously know before you start back in college anyway. So hopefully maybe a bit later in the summer we'll start contacting those students who are going to be awarded the sports scholarships and the CEO Points Concession Scheme. Obviously the CEO Points Concession Scheme, that won't be awarded until after the offers for the courses have been made. Another couple of questions that came in then on the CEO Points Concession Scheme were so someone asked for the CEO Points Concession Scheme, does it matter if you're applying for a programme on the Thurles campus only? No, so that's no problem. It can be either the Limerick or the Thurles campuses, and it doesn't matter what it is, Limerick or Thurles campuses, you can still apply, and that will be available. You can still apply no matter what it is, and you can be eligible and be accepted for that as well. So next question, or just to clarify as well, sports scholarships, they'll be announced after the first round of CEO offers as well. Similar to the CEO Points Concession Schemes, they'll obviously be offered, it'll be after the CEO offers are made that you'll get all that information as well. So just to make that clear. Couple of other questions then on the different CEO, on the sports concession scheme. So how much will the points be reduced? So like I said earlier, the points can be reduced by a maximum of up to 40 points across any of our programs. So as long as you meet the entry requirements, for example, if you're applying maybe for the Bachelor of Arts degree in our Limerick campus, or you're applying for primary school teaching or those secondary teaching programs on our Thurles campus, the maximum the points can be reduced would be up to 40 points. So maybe just keep that in mind. Another question then that came in. Do you need to meet the minimum entry requirements for the program you wish to do? So the answer is yes. For the CEO Points Concession Sports Scheme, you would need to meet the minimum entry requirements for whatever program it is that you want to you choose to take. So for example, for primary teaching, you need to get that H4 in Irish, or your O4, your H7 in English and math. So yes, that's just one thing that you need to do. You need to meet those entry requirements if you want to be a successful applicant. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to post them. Couple of other questions just I'll go through in the time we have left. So someone else today asked or sent in before the session, will those entrance scholarships be available? So will the sports concession sports schemes, will they be available despite the cancellation of the Leaving Cert exams? And the answer is yes. They are based on the CEO points, so they will still apply this year. So keep that in mind. And Kira wants to know, will these be affected by predicted grades this year? So yeah, that's pretty much just, I've pretty much answered that question, yes. So they're obviously based on the CEO points, so they're going to still be there this year. So yes, they will still apply again this year. So the CEO Points Concession Scheme will be based on your CEO points, and they're obviously going to go ahead with that this year. So all of our schemes, CEO Points Concession Scheme, our sports scholarships and our undergraduate entrance scholarship schemes, they'll all go ahead this year. So I've pretty much run through most of the questions that people have sent in to me. If you do have any questions, just feel free to send them on to me now. I'll do my best to answer them. If not, we might just finish up this session. So just a reminder to you all again that our Instagram Q&A sessions will continue again next week. So that's on the 26th of May at 11 a.m. We'll have another session with Dr. Mary Maloney on the BA in Early Childcare and Education. Following week then, on the 3rd of June, for those of you interested in primary school teaching, primary teaching with psychology, or our new Bachelor of Education International, there'll be a Q&A session with Dr. John O'Shea and Dr. Claire Griffin from 11 a.m. on Wednesday the 3rd of June. So that might be an important session. If you do have questions to ask, do log in that day and get your questions, ask your questions to our lecturers. And our series then will finish on Thursday the 4th of June at 11 a.m. also, where you can talk to the President of the Mary McKenna College Student Union, Ashton Cusick, and she'll ask any questions on our Students' Union and our clubs and societies that you have on the day. So I think that's pretty much it, folks. I don't seem to have any more questions. Remember, if you do have any questions or you're watching this maybe after the event, you can always check out our website. It's mic.ie. Just search for scholarships. Or if you want to send me an email, it's patrick.cosgrove@mic.ul.ie.